Hi, everybody. Karen Ellis here for the Crochet Crowd. And all of a sudden, I have to sneeze, and that's not good. What does that mean? Somebody's thinking of me? Maybe it's our guest because they're not here. I spoke to them twice today. And so I'm sure that they're on their way. So you just might have me for a moment. I don't know. Shall I do a little countdown and bring Michael in? And then maybe Michael and I can, Michael, get on in here.
Well, shit, girl, where's the people?
Maybe somebody doesn't want to talk to you after all. Maybe they got, very camera shy. Oh, well, I don't think so.
Hang on, I'm going offline.
Oh, why? Oh, he popped off.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. I had trouble. I tried to do the wrong browser. It said you have to use Chrome. I went and used Chrome, and then I couldn't figure out the pop-ups. I'm old, I guess.
Technology. All right, everybody. Well, Michael, get back in here.
Sorry, Mikey.
Everybody.
A man?
Yes.
I'd like you all to meet Gordon.
Gordon from YouTube? Gordon from YouTube?
Gordon from YouTube.
Oh my God. Fun.
So we are thrilled to have you join us today, Gordon. And it's nice to have a man online, isn't it, Michael?
Well, shit, who am I around here then? Well, we'll use that loosely.
So some of the people who are logging in now on our YouTube channel and everything might recognize his name because you do go your handle on YouTube is Gordon and your last name. So that's him. Hey, everybody say hi, Gordon, to the universe.
Hi, everyone. Great to
I'm gonna let you say hey. Well, now I'll just kind of let Michael go for it. I'm going to pop off the line here and until Michael says something really weird and I have to, restrain him. Yeah, exactly. But we are thrilled. And I know that you have some things to show us as well, Gordon. And I do see
fun
option here as well. So I don't know if you can see that on your screen with the technical issue.
Oh, I can share the screen.
You might be able to.
Okay,
You're going to be our guinea pig.
All right. I need to pull up the.
Don't worry about it because I know you have your backup. So we're good.
Yeah. I have something else too. All right.
Oh, yeah. Show and tell. Everything.
Great.
Gordon's coming prepared.
Try to. Although.
All right. Have fun and chat away, Gordon. Michael, Gordon.
So she's gone. I have to admit, I'm really nervous talking. Are you on my side of the fence? Or
yes, of course.
So I have a hard time talking with other gay males. So
really?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why. I think it's a subconscious thing. So if I'm stalling a little bit, it's me. It's not you.
Don't worry. I get it. I've had that experience before myself, and you're in a safe space.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? Like I feel like really weird in our own community.
Yes, that's funny. My partner and I have talked about that often. In fact, many of our friends are not on our side of the fence either. I was like, well, why don't we have more friends? Like, shouldn't we have more friends like us? And I don't know. Then so much time went by, and then we tried. We're like, oh, we feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what's happened to Daniel and I, because most of our friends are on the other side of the fence, which is fine. Lots of lesbians and stuff, but the gay men, I don't know what it is. Like I feel like I'll just say it the way it is. I feel like they just want to bang you and go. Am I wrong?
I think there's some of that, but it's also tied to, oh, you don't look good enough for me to talk to. So I'm like, I'm not here to do that with you. I'm here to be a human being and a person. So I don't care about that.
We have a lot in common already, Gordon.
Yeah.
Daniel and I went on a cruise ship in Norwegian Cruise Lines, and we were okay the first night. And then we went to the Friends of Dorothy, and let me tell you, there's no Friends of Dorothy there. There's tons of Friends of Dorothy, but they're not friends of ours. And it was just, it's so awkward. It's just like you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I'm always hopeful. And oftentimes I will say this, that I end up meeting folks I'm like, oh, you're great. I really like you. We get along really well. But it doesn't often turn into long-term friendships or anything. But
So do you think that's a cultural issue in today's time frame, or do you think it's always been that way?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I will say this. I have always felt like an outsider wherever I am, even when I'm with people I'm supposed to be part of.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's just me mentally or what, but it definitely affects how I interact with the world and others.
Now, how are we going to change that, Gordon? We have an hour to change that world.
Well, the two of us are on the same page here, so I think that we can do it. If not, at least we found each other. So.
I don't think I've ever met a gay man that has admitted that before. Really? I don't really talk to many gay men really, other than online, but like through like YouTube and Facebook and stuff, but never really in person.
Oh, well, maybe we could talk in person if I'm able to make it to Nova Scotia.
Yes. Are you coming?
The plan was to, and now there's a potential problem. My partner might have to go or husband has to go out to work or travel for work. And we have a daughter and I need to stay home to take care of her. So it's not set in stone yet. I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sure you probably need to know this as soon as possible. And
I've got you covered. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
I've got you covered. But yeah, no, it's very good.
Thanks.
So Karen's in charge of the Chiron today. So if she's gonna pop the Chiron, and if we have to change our topic, and as she's in charge of bringing herself back on stage, which annoying as hell. But okay, so you're a crocheter. I know you from I think you're in the membership, right? For YouTube membership.
Yeah.
How come you're so bloody positive on there? I think other people here in the chat are also saying that you, like Wendy even said it, like you're just so uplifting.
Oh, well, thank you. That's nice to hear. I appreciate that. And I don't know. How do I say it? There's enough negative that I have to deal with everywhere else. This was probably the most anxious week. My anxiety has been very high lately, especially this week with everything. There's a lot of things happening at work. I'm not going to unload all that on everyone, but I deal with so much negativity all the time. It's like, no, I need to surround myself with positivity as much as I can. And you give what you get what you give. I want to support other people. Like someone posts up one of the project they did, like, that's awesome. I love your colors, or whatever it happens to be. Like, it's nice to support each other. So.
There's always something positive to say, even if you never heard this from me before, but even if the project sucks, they have a good lamp, or they have some good furniture, or they have something in the background that says, oh my God, nice project, but check out that lamp. I've had to do that a few times.
Exactly. There's always something.
Yeah, there was one lady that posted something. I couldn't tell the difference between the Christmas wrap and her item.
Well, maybe that's what she's going for. And if so,
well, let's just say we'll go with that. But no, it's just us here, right? So nobody's hearing it.
Oh, yeah. No one has any idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, never. So you're a crocheter. So you're a guy. When did you start crocheting?
So it was something I was always interested in, even as a kid. Remember, my mom had all these arts and crafts books and these binders of things, and she had a lot of these ones from the 70s with someone with I think people know what this is. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a woman with dark hair. It's like a bowl cut. It's just all sorts of arts and crafts, like making things out of trash bags. It's a lot of it is, some of it's cool, some of it's really just like junk. But I remember just devouring that as a kid, looking through it, wanting to do all the different projects. And then I got to my mom's crochet books. I was like, I want to make that penguin. In fact, it was a penguin that I really wanted to make. And she's like, I don't have time. I'm sorry. And I don't blame her. She didn't have time, and it wasn't a big deal. So how many 40 years go by? No, less than that. 30 years go by. It's during the pandemic. My daughter was in preschool, which here they allowed preschoolers to go into school. Yep. But every once in a while she had to do a preschool at home, which they did through Zoom. They did Zoom classes in preschool, which I know you're not a big fan of kids. You're not around them often, but preschool age kids on Zoom doesn't work. It's awful. Yeah. But they had to do an art project, which means the parents had to sit next to them and do everything. And it was to make a penguin out of a paper plate. And just sitting there, I was like, for some reason, it triggered that memory of the penguin that I wanted to make as a kid. And I was like, you know what? The pandemic's happening. We can't do anything. I'm going to make this happen. So I got I think it was Crochet for Idiots or whatever, one of those types of books. Learned the basic things. Yeah, made some small things. My first project was, and you can laugh at this, is Snoopy.
Oh my God, Snoopy.
You can, I mean, his head's falling around. You can tell that I'd used the wrong hook size because everything's so big. But it was my first project, gave it to my daughter. And then I eventually made the penguin, which turned out a little bit better.
Oh, that's cute. Is that Willie?
Oh, Chili Willy, the penguin?
Willie, yeah.
It might be. I found I don't remember. I found the pattern on Etsy. This is a long time ago.
It can't be that long ago. The pandemic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The pandemic feels like it was simultaneously forever ago and also yesterday. I don't, but that's most of my life right now. I can't keep up.
So pandemic hits. Where's your mental space and all of that? Because I was a wreck.
It was it was hard. It was rough. Luckily, we had people here that helped. I will say, and this might not be popular, but the best thing to come out of that was the having to slow down, because I feel like I'm at breakneck speed all the time for work, kid activities, just everything, and it's back up like that now. It really gets to me. So there's having to step back really helped my mental mental feelings, whatever that is. But yeah, after a while, I'm like, oh, I can't see anyone. So that was difficult. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people.
Oh, so I wrote my book during the pandemic. And so then the publisher came masking in my house, the whole 9 yards, writing that thing. And the first time I really got back out into the public was the book opening week. The publisher decides to do a party outside. And I'm standing on stage and all these people are looking at me. Most of them were the models from the book because it was pretty low key. But I started crying on the stage because I realized in that moment, because it had been 2 years, because we were locked down for a year and a half up here. So the Americans, you guys were fine down there, but we were locked down. So I realized when I was standing on stage, it's not enough to be online. You need that human connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that. You're 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So cool.
Glad those days are behind us. I hope they never come back.
Oh, you never know.
No, but I guess I should say never. Here, I'll move on. So this is how I discovered you.
Yeah.
I wanted to make this. I saw this pattern.
The dusty snowflake.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but I was like, oh, this is one of the first blankets I made. I was like, I'm gonna try that, and I was trying to figure out the pattern. Being new, I had no idea what I was doing. Found you on YouTube. I was like, oh, who's this?
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you.
No problem. Now, did you try? Were you cheating on me and trying other YouTube hosts to figure out? Because I find choosing the right YouTube host is so key. It's like first day of school, you don't understand the teacher and they're moving at a speed, but then eventually about a week or two later, you realize what their vibe is. You know when they're going to burp or fart because they're predictable. And so I find a YouTube host has to grow on me.
Yes. Yeah, I would say definitely. Yeah. It's like dating or buying a car. You got to test drive. And
get off my tail, Gordon. We're going to stitch.
So yes, I did. There's other people I was watching and such. And I finally, what drew me to you and what's kept me is I know you don't like compliments, so I'm complimenting your channel, not you. Don't take it as a personal one. There you can separate it a bit there.
Okay.
The person you present is a genuine, real person who's not trying to sell me something, who's not like, hey, subscribe, do this, do that. Which, I mean, yeah, you have to sometimes, but a lot of the other ones, it's just over the top, and nothing against them. I don't want to say anything bad, but the persona you give off is much more inviting and welcoming, and I feel like you don't know me, but I feel like we'd be best friends in real life if we knew each other.
Well, when I see you online, there's Gordon, even though I may have never met you before, I recognize names that just keep appearing, and it's usually the weird or the unusual that I remember. And in your case, it's your uplifting nature.
And a weird name or uncommon name.
One thing that bothers me about YouTube hosts is that when they start up, hey guys, I hate that so much. It feels so insincere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And again, I don't want to bash other people. I was, or you can go ahead. You were, I felt that your genuineness came through, and that's what I want to be around. So
now, I'm surprised when I go and meet people in person. Now, I swear, as you probably already guessed, and I have a lot of warped humor, and people are really surprised when they meet me in person that it's pretty much the same person.
that's how it should be, right?
Well, I don't see a lot of that. Like I go out and then I see a different persona when they're out versus what I see personally behind the scenes. And I'm like, you're really not the same person. So, and I found, because originally the channel was a trekking channel.
Yeah.
And so and then I decided I'm going to be like extra flamboyant and do critiques of, was it Big Brother when they were living in the house? The Big Brother.
Or Real World? I don't know. There's a lot of different shows like that.
What is that? The Big Brother, where all these people were living in the house. The Chicken Man was on that first season.
Chicken Man.
It was Big Brother.
It was Big Brother. Okay, thanks.
It was Big Brother.
I see
You
it.
watch that stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, I watched that and I thought, oh, I'm going to just do these gay critiques of that. And then people were like so hard about it. Like, tell us something we don't already know. And then I realized I know nothing because I watched the same episode they did. But I found it so hard because I was being extra flamboyant when it's not necessarily my personality. So it's really difficult to maintain two lives.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And part of that is your exploration of trying to figure out like, what is the right fit for you. And the trucking channel, it makes sense that that's what you did. And then you eventually found the right place where you could be who you are and what you're supposed to be.
Oh, it was hard. Like, it was hard. So you're on my side of the fence. So everybody at me and said he's extra fabulous like me. So did you always know you were extra fabulous, or was it a transition, or?
I mean, I guess teenage years, I figured it out, but having gone to, having survived 12 years of Catholic school, like it was not an easy thing to accept and to deal with. So there was something I just avoided, like, oh yeah, I'll go away. No, it's nothing. And then eventually just like I can't. It was either I couldn't even like try to live a lie. It was just too much to bear. So I was like, no, this is how it is. How old was I? I was late teens, I think. I can't remember, but it was, yeah, it wasn't a fun experience, but it everything worked out, at least with my family.
You figured it out a lot sooner than I knew something was wrong. I've always known something was wrong, but I did not put my finger on it until I went to college. And then I realized, because in your high school, you cannot be different, but in college, they embraced diversity and differences. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Because the first 12 up to grade 12, it's been nothing but abuse and shit, trying to fit into something that doesn't fit me. But then in college, it was like, oh, fun. But I still went the straight way and got married and did the whole 9 yards because I thought I could suppress it, and it was really difficult. So my wife did not enjoy me crocheting.
Oh.
And, so it only came out when I hit the skids. And so I never told anybody that I crocheted other than she knew. And it goes, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's a shame too. Like I'm in the crochet closet too, or less so now, but I was in the beginning. It's because it's just, I think you can relate to this based on what I've heard from previous loose ends. You talk to other people. It got to a point where just in school, I learned to keep my mouth shut because anything I said was used against me and teased for, even if it was something completely benign. I was like, whoa, what is going on? So I learned quickly the best way is just to get through is just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. And therefore, no one has anything to use against you. So it's kind of awful. But I still have that mentality. And
I still have that too. I used to buy shoes because my parents put me to work when I was 13. So if I wanted yarn or whatever, I had to buy it myself. And so I would look for shoes that absolutely had no sound to it, so that when I walked in the halls, you would not hear me coming, and I would be so quiet and keep my head down, so that it was just a way of protecting myself. Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's difficult. Oh.
Mhm. Wow, this is a heavy topic there.
We can go on all kinds of topics. We can get, yeah. Let's do the whole range.
Okay. Okay. So then, where do we go from here? So,
Oh,
so are you still in the closet then with the crochet, or can you crochet in public, or?
I'm pushing myself more. I went on a plane trip to LA recently, and I well, because knitting is easier to transport.
Yes.
I brought a little thing to. I'm trying to make a blanket from some stuff that I have. So I brought that and I did it on the plane. And I was like, who cares?
Now, did the stewardess and stewards like stop and talk to you with your crocheting?
No.
They usually talk to me.
Oh, I had something similar happen where we were coming back from a long flight somewhere, and I was trying to. I actually didn't make much progress on this. And long story short, it was a embroidery thing. I've never embroidered, but I have this plan based on some art I saw somewhere of doing a bunch of these little tiny like 1/4-inch squares of different colored green in different directions. So it's hard to describe, but I was working on that on a plane, and then someone stopped me, and it was an overseas flight, and their English was good, but and they were just like, "What are you doing? What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't feel embarrassed at all." So, like, even on the plane last when I was knitting, when they would come by, I'd have the tray table. I would just stick it underneath. So I guess I'm still hiding. No, anyway.
You don't need to hide. When I was in an airport once, I saw this Asian woman sitting beside me, and she was staring at my project. And I turned to her and I said, "Do you know how to crochet?" And I realized she didn't know English. And so I don't know where she was heading, because we just happened to sit beside each other because we were waiting. And I pointed at my eye and I said, "I'll show you." And so I gave her my project.
Oh.
And I gave her a demonstration on how to do it. And then I gave it to her because I realized I can rip it out. Right. And so anyway, I taught this woman. So I have no idea what her name was. We had no words of communication other than she probably left with a new skill when she went home. And
that is so cool.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
What an experience. That's something you remember it.
I just remember that now, like after all these years, because it's a powerful moment and you don't need the social media. It just happened. And it was just wonderful.
That's cool. I love that. Oh.
One of the stewardess said to me while I was crocheting, and she stopped to ask me what I was working on. I said, "Whatever." And she said, "I would rather you sit there and crochet than harass me the whole trip." And so he says, "If they were all crocheting in here, I would have a happy flight every time." So she says, "You're welcome to bring your crochet hooks anytime," right? So that was kind of funny.
Well, maybe people going to any of your events will, if they're all on the same flight, will make a happy stewardess or steward.
Yeah.
Flight attendant, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So have you taught anybody to crochet at this point?
I'm trying to show my daughter how to. She just turned 8 last week. And in fact, we used one of your videos for teaching the chaining. I wanted her to start with that. And she's having trouble holding the yarn in her hands. So I posted something on the Facebook group, and I got a bunch of great ideas. So thank you, everyone. We tried a bunch of different ones. And then finally, I got the tension ring, and that seemed to help. So
what's the key element to teach an 80? I get that question a lot. Because I don't have kids, as you know. So what was the trigger getting her to actually get the hook in her hand?
What inspired her to do it? Or
yeah,
I think maybe she just sees me doing it enough. I don't know. She's in the other room doing her homework. I could ask her.
Why not?
Do you want to come and tell us? Is that okay?
Yeah. And Gordon, where are you from? People are asking.
Oh, I'm in Oakland, California, the Bay Area.
California.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were in California. Hello. How are you today?
Good.
I heard you're learning to crochet. Yes.
What can you tell? Oh.
Yeah, what got you to go crochet? Did Gordon put something in your hand, or?
Well, he did do this ride, and he made a monkey for each one. Like he made a girl monkey, boy monkeys, and he made a girl one for me.
Yeah, we have.
Oh my God, it's like a Curious George.
And I was looking and thinking maybe I should make a stuffy too.
And one day you can. We got to keep practicing we have to keep practicing your chaining though. Once you get that done, I think then it's good to move from there. That's my guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do a chain scarf, and the curiosity is what gets these kids to move forward. So what kind of stuffy do you want to make, sweetie?
Bunny.
They have a really simple pattern on Yarn Inspirations for bunnies.
Perfect.
They're just tube shapes just put together.
Oh, okay. We'll look for that after.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. You can go do homework now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Enjoy. And yeah, she's in the other room. You can speak freely. You don't have to.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
But yeah, so she brought up. I pulled a bunch of different things I've done on the table just in case they came up. I wasn't planning on any of that, but yeah, my husband and I did the Endz life cycle ride, which is a bicycle ride from San Francisco down to Los Angeles a couple of years ago, and we're on a team called Funky Monkey. And I was like, oh, I got to make us some monkeys. So I made a bunch of different ones, and we put them on our bicycles for the ride down and on our tents at night. So I was just being goofy and cheesy and enjoyed it. But, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm getting emotional, Gordon. When she gets older, she's going to remember her dad made her monkeys. You realize that, right? That'll be a memory she will hold for a lifetime.
I didn't make that connection. You're right.
That is amazing. That is amazing. It's amazing. It's a simple little things like that we want to do big things for kids, but it's simple little things like that we carry forward. It's amazing.
Thank you. As a parent, as someone who's just everything's happening in the world, hearing that makes me. I have a hard time stopping and smelling the flowers, and you helped me do that just now. Thank you. And now there's a cat in my lap to change things up. So sorry.
You know what would be a really cool gift? Can she hear me? I'll whisper.
Yeah, I can close the door.
I'll whisper. You know what would be amazing for a wedding gift? Is a matching groom and bride monkey.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That would be like a lifetime keepsake.
Oh,
it would be really cute. I don't know. Anybody at home also think that? I am just so touched by that. It's those simple little things like that we worry about the world of trying to provide everything, but it's those silly little memories that just carry us forward. So that's amazing.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you for framing the situation for me to understand it. Yeah, that's heartwarming. And I'm going to write that down when we get off the line here.
Something tells me you won't forget that.
Probably won't.
This
whole thing is very memorable.
You'll see that monkey, and I think you'll always remember her, but she'll always remember you too. And I think that's just powerful stuff. Powerful. Oh my God, getting me all emotional over here.
Okay, so how many we've hit emotions? We've hit deep topics. What else is on the list? I guess we have to be inappropriate a couple times. Oh, okay, I'll go there now. What do you do when the monkeys are bad?
What's that?
What do you do when the monkeys are bad?
You got to spank the monkey. Sweetie, I'm on your side of the fence. That's a good Saturday night. Let's spank the monkey time. What a change of emotions there, Gordon.
We're gonna go through them all today.
Oh, Jesus. That's so funny. It's so funny. I don't actually, Karen was talking about, we were talking about dressing up as pirates for the next crochet cruise over, because that's our theme for the first one. But I actually found my crochet parrot, which was one of the very first amigurumis that I ever did. And sweetie, it looks like shit. I bought the pattern from Etsy, and I used the too big of a hook like you did, and the stuffing looks like it's gonna blow out its legs. But you don't realize that when you start these kind of things, in its progression is that you got to be tight. And I don't know, I'm not that loose where my asshole whistles when I walk, but I've had to learn to tighten up a bit.
Bravo, you won.
But yeah, because I see like in the women that it's primarily women that come out to our events. So we have a few men. Not all are special like us, but they're special in their own way.
Right.
But it's so interesting just looking at the tension differences between crocheters. Some people, oh my God, they make a granny square. It's the size of a goddamn blanket. And you need to loosen up or change your hook or something. Yeah.
Well,
I needed to jump on. I got my pirate thing.
Oh.
It came in the mail.
I love it.
I have to like, I don't know. I've got long hair now.
He's totally
Yeah.
gonna steal my parrots.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I just had to say that. As soon as you said about the parrot, I went, oh, I know what I got today.
I haven't opened up yet, so yeah.
Anyway, this is fun. Hi, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.
But she just pops in. You know, she's like the Wizard of Oz. She just comes and goes. You know.
Well, that's what you get for giving her power.
I don't know. What was I thinking? I can see her house pretty much from my desk here. Her and I have known each other so long that we actually didn't like the same people together. That's how we kind of bonded way back when. And I'm like, because when I entered this whole world, I was by myself, so I didn't have like a stepping stool to go in. And I went to my first function actually in California, in Anaheim. Oh. And I approached one of the designers because I didn't know who he was. And he was wearing the most coolest things. And he gave me the eye, Gordon, of up and down. And you are. And I said, oh, Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And he went. And anyway, I walked away from that. And I said to Daniel, I was like, I don't know what just happened. And he goes, you don't belong here. And this was in the first few minutes. And he says, we're going to have to figure out how to get through this thing for 3 days. And it was horrible. I walked in the Lion Brand booth.
Really?
And I was like, oh, my God. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to fit into this industry. So I realized I didn't fit in. So I realized I was going to do my own thing and hope for the best. And Lion Brand, because it's not them. And it wasn't me, it's just because we didn't have a connection of just who I was and what I do and the whole 9 yards. So it wasn't personal. And I was taking it personal. Gordon, I ended up at a goddamn Hooters. That's how bad, you know how bad the food is at Hooters? So we went to the Hooters and this woman shows up with her top all ripped up to shit. And I'm like, and Daniel says, you can put those things away. And I am crying to a beer, having the worst food I ever had.
Oh, why of all places did you go there?
Oh, because it was right beside the hotel.
Oh, okay. I've been to it before too. I know. Yeah, your assessment is correct. It's not great, but oh, well, I'm sorry. That's an awful thing to deal with.
But it ended up being a great trip because he met me.
Yes. Yeah.
You forgot that part.
You find your tribe.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the other guy either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand that kind of. What life is short. It's not worth doing that. I don't understand what people get out of that.
You know what I realized what it was, Gordon, is that because I hadn't wrote a book, is that I was invalid as a person in this industry. And so I wrote the book, not because I really wanted to, because the publisher was harassing me for years. And I said, fine, I'll write a book and then maybe I will like be accepted in this industry. I write the damn book and I'm still exactly where I'm supposed to be, where I am. And I realized that it was never about the book and it's just an excuse. And you know what I'm talking about. You got to find your own way sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did, and you've done it very well. I'm very thankful. There's not a compliment to you, a compliment to what you built. Crochet Club. Very thankful.
Yeah, I don't take compliments really well, but
I know. So then it's not to you. It's to what you built. Is that okay? Is that acceptable?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. It just, I think it's partially like Karen told me that I had ADHD like a year ago or something, and I took it so hard. Karen, stay offline. Let me talk. She's gonna jump on because I could just feel her fingers moving. And anyway, she told me I had ADHD, and I went into this depression state that was so bad because I knew that I was a workaholic, and I know that I have tendencies to do things, but I never knew there was a label for it. But I think it was my ADHD that actually made me successful because I put others in the business before my own personal life, which is a horrible life balance. And it's amazing what I've done, but I don't think I could have done it without that.
I mean, it makes sense. Totally makes sense. It's given you the what you needed to build what you built.
So you were saying that you used COVID to slow down. So do you feel that same? Do you have that same kind of drive now that you're back to work? Like just go, 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 go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like I'm stuck in the rat race again, and it's not until at night, after I've done all my chores and everything is done, Violet's to bed, sit down on the couch to relax, watch TV. I pull out whatever project I'm working on. I just I work on it, and then I get in a groove, and I don't want to stop and go to bed. So then I don't sleep late, or I don't go to bed till late, and I'm exhausted the next day when I wake up at 5 a.m. But it's worth it. I need that. I need that balance, that time to do it.
So what is good to binge on then for crochet? Because some stuff I can binge on, but I can't really crochet because I'm so nervous watching it.
Well, what we tend to do is we'll find a show. Usually my husband finds it. Find something and watch it. We'll watch maybe one episode, and then for the rest of the night, however long it goes, we fill it with either the Golden Girls or old episodes of The Simpsons. Which old Simpsons, not the new ones. I know, but that was
that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
they're amazing. Family Guy he likes with that alien. Is that Family Guy with the alien? No, that was American Dad.
Yeah,
Roger, the great alien. That guy was perverted as hell. Golden Girls. So, what are you thinking of the new reboot? What's your opinion on that?
Oh, wait, I think I did hear about that. I haven't. I don't know much about it yet. I'm willing to watch it, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone could be as great as those four.
So I started rewatching Golden Girls, I think a couple years back, and I turned it off actually a few episodes. You kind of realize, like I was a child then. I was in my high school years, right, when that was out. And I loved it. The humor was right in there. Sophia's blah, 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 blah. But then looking at it now, I felt like it was an abusive friendship.
Yeah, I could see that. And there's some things that are dated. Some things like, oh, wow, you couldn't do that on TV anymore. But in other ways, they did push the envelope, like with I can't believe we're diving into the Golden Girls right now.
Well, that's why we're here.
Episode where Blanche's brother comes out as gay, and everyone was, well, she wasn't, but all of her friends were accepting and pushing her to accept it and not to do that kind of thing. It was maybe a little groundbreaking in the 80s and 90s.
Oh my God. All the gays that came out on that show all had sweaters. Did you notice that? The ugliest sweaters ever. Let's put a gay character in, but let's not make him too gay looking.
Yeah, because you got to have it on regular TV.
So do you watch Squid Game? Have you watched Squid Game at all?
Oh, I watched part of it. It gets a little violent, right? I get queasy. I have a hard time with a lot of like blood and guts and things like that. It just makes me really uncomfortable. So I watched a little bit and then didn't watch more.
We didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, I have to see the next episode. What the hell? So we watched season 2 completely, and we giggled our way through that until the forks came out. When people had forks and they were allowed to keep them, then I was done. Those forks went in everything, like everything.
Oh.
It was pretty queasy. I'm like, I'm gonna put my crochet down project now because I am like tying knots at this point because I don't want to see where they're gonna stick the fork next.
Oh wow. Part of me's intrigued. Part of me's like, yeah, maybe I don't need to know.
Oh my God, and the music. So today I posted on Facebook a Squid Game. It was on season 2 of the music. Oh my God, I will never hear that music in another way other than what happens when the carousel stops. It's like, holy shit.
Boy. Well, yeah, now I want to know. Okay. I will
Make sure Violet's in bed. Like, honestly, that's what nightmares are made of.
yeah, she has a hard time with that too. So.
Yeah. So people online are saying that they watch game shows. Were you ever a game show girl?
Hey, growing up, I remember summertime, wake up early and watch The Price is Right.
Yes.
What else is there?
How old are you? So for context.
42.
Okay, so you're younger than me.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah.
So I remember watching that as a kid. And then, what's funny is before I knew him, my husband was on The Price is Right when he was in college. I was like, wait, what? You're on The Price is Right?
Did he win?
He won the first round and then missed the whatever that when you pull the wheel down, he missed it by like 1 cent. So the person went behind him who got just like 1 or 2 cents above him and won. So pretty awful. But he had it on VHS. My dad hears about this. He's like, wait, what? My dad is all about home movies and everything. He has our entire family life cataloged for decades. And he's like, well, I'm going to put that on DVD. So he put on DVD, gave everyone copies, even if they didn't want it. So now we have it. I haven't showed Violet yet, but we will one day.
So Bob Barker would have been the host then.
Yeah.
Bob Barker to me is The Price is Right. I know it changed, but to me it's never the same as Bob.
I agree 100%. I've seen it with Drew Carey, and I don't know. I remember the Drew Carey show, and I feel like the Drew Carey from that and the Drew Carey on The Price is Right are very different. He just seems very quiet, and I mean I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe it's changed, but when I did watch it, he just seemed very subdued. It's like, no, come on, you gotta liven it up a bit.
So I met Vanna White with Lime Brand actually many years ago.
Oh wow.
And so she was there. So I asked so Lime Brand, and eventually we end up getting in the same circle together. So that all worked out in the end. But I've never worked for Lime Brand. But so Lime Brand she came in because she was a spokesperson for Lime Brand for her yarn, the Vanna White yarn. And so I said, I want to meet Vanna. So he called her over and I introduced myself, and that woman doesn't say nothing. and meaning that there's nothing offensive to find with her because she doesn't say much. Wow. And I had never realized how skinny she was. And so when I went face to face with her, because I only know her just from, I'm not smart enough for Wheel of Fortune, but I know that she's on Wheel of Fortune, but I realized I had no connection once she was in front of my face. And I couldn't take my eyes off her waist on how skinny this girl was. And I'm like, oh my God, this girl needs a sandwich.
Wow. I'm not surprised though, because when you're on TV, what you see is different. But speaking of Vanna White though, look her up on Instagram, and she does some videos with her son.
Really? She has a kid?
I don't know how many, but one of her sons she does videos with, and he sometimes wears very tight shirts. I don't know what the video was about, but it was.
What does that mean, Gordon?
It was nice to look at.
So I assume her kid's of age.
Oh yes, of course. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, how old would she be now? 80s?
I don't know, 70s or 80s probably.
Yeah, because she looked young when I met her, but that doesn't mean she was. Because the only difference, like they can have their facelifts and all the whole thing done, but it's usually the hands. Like the hands are the tell really. But yeah. So anyway, so on the bus ride back to the airport after I'd met her, like the next day, I was talking to Daniel and I said, I just feel sorry for her. Like, because like I wonder if there's an eating issue or something to be that skinny for the pressure of being a public figure. Like I would not. Oh, Vanna's only 67. Shut up.
Wow.
That's not true.
I don't think she looks 67. She definitely doesn't look like she's in her 70s or 80s. I just guessed that. Well, I haven't seen her in real life, but and it was guessing that range because of how long she's been on the show and just knowing Pat Sajak
was much older.
Yeah. Don't worry, Vanna. If you're listening right now, we don't think that. We
think you're 29. I would have thought she was much older. Just I don't know why. Maybe because she's been on TV so long.
Yeah, that's why I did.
Yeah, that's me backpedaling there.
You're right, obviously. I support you.
So what's on your hook these days?
Oh, it's actually one of your projects you posted on a newsletter. We were down in LA visiting family for the holidays, and I woke up in the morning, relaxing morning to have to wake up super early. I was sitting there looking at my phone. I saw your one of your newsletters, and I forget what's called, Granny Ripple Crochet.
Oh yes.
And I turned to look to Brian, my partner. I was like, "Hey, what do you think of this? Do you like that?" He's like, "Yeah, that's nice." I'm like, okay, good.
You need a blanket in California? I've heard you guys don't need blankets in California.
Well, depends on what part you're in. It's been in the at night in the 40s here in Oakland, and then during the day it's been cooler too. Well, it was a high of like 59 today, which is cold for us. I'm sure that's probably shorts weather for you where you are right now, but
not really. But I understand where you're coming from. We moved to Nova Scotia because it wasn't as cold as Ontario. So because I wish that Canada would buy some islands, and so, because then you can go down and live down there without actually having to immigrate anywhere. Yeah, you know, and have some warmer weather. So we moved to Nova Scotia to get out of some of the cold weather. So even though if my social profile shows the snow, it's not as bad as it was back at home. Yeah,
I saw that picture you posted from your hometown. It looked like the snow was 10 feet tall.
Oh yeah, so that was my. I grew up in a fairground in a little town called Sawville Beach, Ontario, and I remember the snowbank so high that you could almost touch the hydro wires, and it's like, and I remember that. But anyway, my friends, well, that I've reconnected over the years, they're saying they haven't seen snow since like that since they were a kid, and I remember having to climb down off these snowbanks to get onto the bus, like because you'd have to go up and over them to get to the bus, and then we had safety drills in school to make sure that when you fell down if you slipped, you didn't slip underneath the bus, and if you did, yell really hard so you don't get run over.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean that's. I'm glad they had those drills, but that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Well, you live, you learn, and they told you not to do any snow forts in the snowbanks because they were so high that the snowplow could come along and just bury you alive. So it was a very serious thing, right?
Oh yeah, I grew up in California. Lived in LA most of my life, and up here, never had to deal with that. I think going to snow is fun. I love it, but I've not lived in it.
You know, one of the things that maybe it's because I'm Canadian, but when I go down south, is like I feel like I'm on holiday. We call it holiday here in Canada. We don't call it vacation. So I feel like I'm on holiday, and I love every minute of it. And I think it might be different from people that already have that weather that are going like on a cruise and stuff. I feel like it's a really special moment because I'm getting out of my environment, seeing palm trees because we don't see those around here and stuff.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah,
yeah,
palm trees.
Yeah. But Daniel, because he's a master landscaper, he would love that have that opportunity.
I would, if I'm able to do the Nova Scotia tour, which I really hope I can, I would love to see Daniel's garden. That's my day job is a urban forester, so an arborist. So I work with trees.
Fun.
I love trees. But before that, I'm only going to say this because I think everyone else you've had on this show has been a teacher. So okay. I need to say that. Before that, I was a teacher for 7 years. I taught special ed high school in the Bay Area. And so it's like, oh, wow, he has interviewing not interviewing, but talking with a lot of teachers.
Well, that's up to Karen because Karen vets these people.
Very good job.
I like the idea that you're coming on and I don't know who's coming on. And it's just really cool. And because I haven't seen your face before, like, who is this guy here? Yeah. So I like that element of this whole thing. Right.
Yeah, this is such a cool idea. When you're having the brainstorming session that you posted, I was like, oh wow, what a fun idea. So as soon as the thing came out, I'm like, I'm signing up. I want to be on this. Sorry, my doorbell's going off. I'm not sure, but we'll just leave it.
Do you need to answer that?
Okay, no, I think it was a delivery from Michael's. More yarn. I know
they love it. They love it.
Unboxing. Sorry, had to jump on there.
We
Okay.
could do that if you want. I do want to say this though. I was really good about avoiding the Yarnspiration sale that you kept telling us about, and I kept getting advertisements for it and everything. Really, really good until last weekend when I spent more money than I should admit to on there. Like, I don't need any more yarn and more projects, but I can't resist.
I've never seen a sale that deep for Yarnspiration, so that was something. One thing that Americans don't realize is that Canadians, we don't have as much choice as you. And so when there's a sale like that, you have to jump on it, because we do have a local Michael's. I have a small format. Karen and I went to a larger Michael's over the weekend, and they had shit that I have never seen. And because it's a large, so the stores are labeled A, B, C, D, E, F. And so in the model store that they have at the home office, it looks identical to a Michael's, but then there's a shelf that this belongs in the G stores, this belongs in the A stores, this belongs here, because what they do is all the timings and stuff. So they never got the miniatures for Christmas in my location, and thank God I saved a fortune because I hadn't seen anything. And then I'm part of a miniature group online, and then somebody posted like, well, after it was too late, that Michael's had miniatures. I'm like, oh, they did? Because I only shop in two places. I shop my clothing I get from Demenswear, Amazon, and Yarnspirations.com, because I don't want my credit card everywhere. Right.
I get that. Understand. Having had my credit card stolen before, it's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's from the online stuff or from the gas stations or what. But
okay, so are you going to do an unboxing?
Would you like to see?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay, come on, Karen. Come on, Karen. That was a cool idea. We're going to see what that is in that boy's box.
Well,
God, you're so nosy. I love it.
well, you're starting to, rub off on me being next door there.
So we did go to the Michael's. Oh my God. Okay.
So okay. I have to preempt this with I was at Michael's months ago, and they had the anniversary cakes. They had the purple one, they had the green one. I made the green one finally.
Oh, and that green is nice.
Yeah, I loved it. This really spoke to me. It's like, oh, this is the best color combination I've ever seen. I wish they had more than one of these, because there was enough to make a really big blanket. But that's why I preempted this to say that when I was there, I was like, I don't need that. What would Mikey do? I totally said that in mind.
Don't even do that. Okay, well, do that. But
it was my excuse to buy it, so I did. I'm glad. So thank you.
Our Michael's, because it was a small format, we never got Karen anniversary cakes this time around, so I never saw it this time.
Oh,
I know.
I'm sorry.
Daddy's unboxing his yarn. Yeah.
Oh, the rustling might be loud. Sorry.
Okay, no, we're fine.
Okay.
It's
so
like
anyway.
Gordon, it's like ripping underwear. We can handle it.
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, wait. Oh, this isn't from Michael's.
What is it?
It is yarn. It is yarn. So,
who is it from?
Before I say that, what was coming from Michael's was not more of this, because I don't have it, but other yarn I found that I think would match, so I could make a different blanket. Anyway, this is from it is yarn. I'm trying to do more knitting, trying that out, and I saw that Barocco. It's just backwards for you. Sorry, Barocco.
No, it's not. It's
okay.
fun.
They're doing some year-long knit thing knit along, where you do like a 12-inch square, 1 or 2 12-inch squares a month, and it's different knitting styles. So like this might be a good way to just dive in, because my knitting I don't do it really well. I don't understand it that well yet. Crochet I feel confident with. Knitting I don't. So I thought this might be a good way to learn more and make it better. So sorry, false alarm. It's not from Michael's. What is yarn?
You know what, Gordon, I have to say, so I started so you went on crochet during COVID. I went on knitting, because I'm like, I'm going to use this time to learn to finally knit, because my mom showed me how to do something. I did a Barbie hammock for Barbie.
Nice.
Apparently she was always naked in this thing. I don't understand this thing, because I'm not into that. But but I never got beyond that. with my mom, and I kept splitting my yarn, so I ended up with extra stitches and stuff. And so I decided during COVID that I'm going to learn, and I let Yarn Inspirations know, I think I'm going to learn. They said, well, go you, because I'm here for the crochet. But so anyway, I use their resources to be able to teach myself, because they actually have knitting tutorials on their channel.
Your Inspirations does?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
because I was like, what the hell is TBL? Like, that's what I'm saying. But then they'll have that. And so, so what I decided to do during COVID is like, I don't need these videos to be like an hour long. I can just do these 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute videos. This is what it is. This is how you do it. See ya. If you like, subscribe, great. Like, because I never say that usually. But those videos on Yarn Inspirations were really helpful for me.
Oh, cool. All right, I'm gonna check those out. Thank you. Yeah, I usually look at what you post. So your knitting ones have been helpful. Knitting, I've looked at some other people too, and everyone has a different style of how they hold the yarn and everything. I hold mine like a crocheter. So honestly, my left hand, I hold it just like I would crochet, and that's worked well for me. I've done a few things.
So you're doing a continental then? You're a continental knitter?
Yeah, because I'm not throwing things over. I do it more like picking, I guess.
Yes.
So there's nothing. My hands kind of stay on the yarn the whole time. I'm just kind of real scientific there.
I couldn't get that. I couldn't get my swing to do that. People are like, Micah, if you're going to learn to knit. But then my mom did the throw method, and I want to keep a piece of my mom with me. So
I love that.
It's something that, yes, I could learn something new, but I want to keep it part of my mom, even though I don't have kids or whatever. But it's special for me, right?
That is what's most important, and that something like that is what's going to keep you going forward.
So what's the difference between crochet and knitting then? Have you figured that out?
The difference?
People keep saying, do you crochet or knit? But then what's the difference?
They're everything. They're all very different. It's I don't think it's. I mean, they both use yarn. They both have like a stick. One has 2 sticks. One has or a hook, I guess. Sorry, yeah, I don't know.
So what's the so we know that knitting is from nailing, right? From like the old-fashioned like medieval time where it was called nailing, and then it ends up transitioning to knitting. Now crochet wasn't invented until I think the 1600s. Like it's way hundreds of years later than knitting. And how did they determine crochet? Do you know?
I think I might, based on watching so many of your videos. Should I say it or should I let you say it?
No, you go ahead.
It is from rug hooking or making rugs. Yeah, that was cool. It's like, really? Makes sense though.
Yeah. So as you said, it's from rug hooking. And so they went into the rug with a hook to do it. And they accidentally grabbed an extra hook and or an extra loop. And they realized that they can make textured rugs by doing that. And then they realized if the rug canvas is missing and they chain first, then the first chain is actually the canvas of the rug. So when we crochet, we actually crochet vertically. We're knitting, you crochet horizontal.
Oh. Wait.
Think about that. Your chain is your canvas, and you're building up from the chain.
Yeah.
So you're actually crocheting in a vertical formation.
Wow. I never realized that knitting.
It's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Wow. So wait, knitting used to be called nailing?
Yeah. Nailing.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Inappropriate.
There will be.
There will be. Yeah. Just say that for later.
So the thing that I had to change for myself, Gordon, is like, God, this shit is slow. Like, just like kill me already. But I realized that the journey of the knitter and the crocheter is completely a different craft. We may use the same raw material, but the motion, the purpose, and everything is completely different. And I think if anything I want to change in the legacy is not, are you a crocheter or knitter? Well, it's 2 different hobbies completely. You know.
Oh yeah, well, that makes sense. And they're both fun. I like crochet a little better.
Yeah, I'm on a knit kick this week to be able to do some really fun stuff. But I didn't know this yarn existed until I was at the Big Michael's. So because they don't have it, but I'm like, that's fun. I love the heathering nature to it. So we're gonna bring on Karen. So Karen, are you learning anything?
Yes, I've learned that I am I crochet up. I was going to say, is it vertical or horizontal?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lost. Okay. I'll get you to tell me later.
So Karen and I went away for the weekend,
Oh,
and we decided not to say anything on social media because there's sometimes I just need a social media break and not have to advertise. So I went on a social media blackout on Thursday night, and then I came back online on Monday, and it was kind of neat. I had to cook for her.
You didn't have to.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know, and I took a photograph of my meals. She likes burnt and brown. Let me tell you, because Daniel does.
In other words, that's what it came out like. And he scraped off some of it and gave me the less burnt.
oh,
That's true. But I did turn the post over.
Yeah,
sucks.
no, it was a fun weekend. Yes, we
Oh.
both. Yeah,
You deserve a
crochet.
break. You need the time away. It's important to recharge, refresh.
Well, here in our area, Gordon, is that it's winter, so it's like off season, and she was able to get a hell of a deal, and we just got in the car and just went.
Nice.
It's good mental reset to get yourself offline, because I think that's like based on our guests, I think it was last week, the biggest problem is social media, and I think sometimes we just need a break from it, right?
Yeah. Yes. I agree 100%. Honestly, you and now you, Karen, too, are some of the few reasons why it's hard for me to get off. Because there's other. I love seeing what you're posting, and Karen, welcome. It's so cool to see.
Oh yes.
I to see where that goes. But the other stuff, seeing things friends post, great. But the other stuff, I don't need in my life. It's making my anxiety go through the roof. I can't take it. So I try to pick and choose and just look.
That's gonna be our downfall, really, honestly, in the end.
Yeah.
How bleak is that?
Let's not end this on a bleak.
Yeah, Karen, turn this bitch around.
We have to end soon, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we
You have any
do.
more-
I want to share something first. Is that okay? I'll be quick.
Sure.
It's just the thing I was going to share. So your your nutcrackers that you showed around Christmas time.
Yes.
Holy shit! I was blown away. That was so cool. I love stuff like that. And then the dome too. Not the dome.
Yes.
Igloo.
The igloo. That was I want to share with you something that. Oh man, I had it up. Where is it? Something I did for it. We have in my city, we have an Autumn Lights Festival every October, and people do all kinds of things. It could be like crazy fire breathing stuff to, hey, I put lights in a tree. It varies. So I made a giant mushroom out of crochet for this year that glowed under black light. And I thought I could share some pictures.
Let's give Gordon some hearts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Attempted to show it from here. Oh God, what did I do?
Oh, it just
Here. You know what? You said we could try sharing?
try it. Yeah, there's a present. Do you see the present?
Yes.
She's gonna give us a little peekaboo, everybody.
Yes,
Sure.
we're gonna give her a go.
Wait, what?
Somebody's asking if Gordon's doing the Bay Area yarn crawl.
No, what's that?
No, he doesn't know about it, so you have to school him on that.
I'm sorry, I was reading them things. What I was ignoring you, Michael. What was that?
They're asking if he's doing a yarn crawl in the Bay Area.
Oh,
I'm not aware of that, but that sounds fun. I would like to know more. I'll look that up after. So I just tried to share, but in order for me to do it, I have to restart Chrome. I'm not going to do that.
no, don't do that. Okay.
So this, you can see I made it. Let's go through here. Sorry for my.
Here, I'm going to pop it off. Maybe it'll get bigger.
That's what she said.
It was bigger, now it's not. The women.
So it's hard to see. This is the frame I made. I tried different things. It's like a 4x4 tent frame.
Okay.
on the bottom, and then this is my backyard, and then on top is a geodesic dome I found on Amazon. I tried all kinds of different things, and this is what worked. So
Is it crochet? Is it crocheted?
Yeah, the red there, the top. This is all crocheted. These are big giant hexagons.
Oh my god, that's huge!
It took me 6 months of the evening time. Oh, this is the underside, the where the
Oh,
the
you would have
gills.
the underside.
So I did the gills. And sorry, let me. Okay, this is me setting it up in the park.
Words for the mushroom that I have no idea. That's what it's called, the gills.
Yeah, underneath it. This is it partly put together. Hold on, let me.
I'm having images of Brokeback mushroom.
Here, this is it all finished. This is the first time I've done it. I'm going to do it again next year, but I'm going to change it up. I don't like how you can see the 4 squares or the corners of the tent. So I'm going to get like those pool noodles. I'm going to try to find them in white and try to make it more of a rounded base instead of square. But yeah, the kids were walking in the middle. I put a disco ball inside.
How fun!
So.
And look, you just started crocheting during the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, there's kids inside playing. I don't know if you can see this really well.
Yeah.
I need to work on the lighting too because it was a little dim, but it does glow in the dark. I used Joanne, whatever their yarn is, to.
And how much yarn did you use?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I'm not prepared to answer that. A lot. I will figure it out. I think I was able to make, at least from the hexa. Oh wait, sorry, that's the family.
It's okay. We can handle seeing your family.
Oh yeah, no, you're welcome to it. That's probably a better picture at night.
Fun. Good for you, Gordon. Now, you're probably going to inspire other people. Like, how in the hell did you do that? And you can talk about that.
It's like the making blankets and all that stuff, the amigurumi, that's all really cool and fun. And I love it. And it gives me, and so like all your tutorials and such, it's giving me the both inspiration and the ability to start to think outside the box and do something weird. I like to do weird things, but I need to be in the right like mental mindset to I mean, not weird, but more artsy fartsy type stuff.
That's fun. So what's your next weird thing then?
So I would love to make a tree. Don't know how yet. So like imagine
pom. We did palm trees, Daniel and I.
Oh,
4 of them. They were huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you send me pictures?
I can. Does Karen have your email?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll send it through her. It was at Creative Festival. We did it for Stranded in Madagascar. Have you ever seen that exhibit?
No.
Where there was like hundreds of Madagascar from the movie that people donated from around the world. And we had palm trees. We had the token human that was like skeleton hanging by his backpack off the tree. It was amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
It was pretty cool. But we used wire and a lot of mesh. I want to say Red Heart Sachet. You know how it's all meshy? So we used a lot of that to really kind of fill out spaces. It was awesome.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm intrigued. I'd love to see pictures.
Cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that's my next plan for this. I'm going to make the mushroom look a little better next year. Do different lights to make it pop more. And I would like to make a tree. Palm tree makes sense. That'd be easier than.
You know, it'd be really cool. What if you kept adding to your mushroom instead of changing it? So what if next time there's a caterpillar on top, Alice in Wonderland, and it's smoking or it's got a hookah or something?
Yes.
Daniel and I were talking about that today because we did an exhibit called Alice in Wonderland, and somebody had mailed in a top hat that looked like a hookah. And this Asian woman, and I'm only saying because it was Asian because it was funny as fuck. So she got the cat checking out, and she goes, I want to go over there and smoke that man, in her Asian accent. Both laughed so hard. And I said, well, that's my man. If you really want to smoke him, there it goes. Anyway, so Daniel had this stupid thing going up into the ceiling with the whole pipe and stuff that somebody had made. And we sold all these hats for scholarships for post-secondary students.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Karen still has her hat, actually.
I have mine. Yes, mine was a teapot.
Awesome.
So I would think, Gordon, that maybe you would think about continuing to add instead of refining. Because then you get the intrigue year after year. What has he done this year?
Thank you. I'm so glad that. Thank you. I love this.
So my weird goal, not that you asked, but I'll offer, is that we're doing top hats for the crochet cruises, because we're doing tea parties on board with the workshop people. And so I want to make my top hat look like a mini pergola with the mini furniture and everything. So have it coming up, but then coming up into a pergola. But I don't know how I'm going to ship this thing to the ship without breaking it.
Oh.
So that's going to be my biggest key element. So I want to put like a little sofa and just kind of hanging out on top of my head as a tea party, because I got the coolest shoes, Gordon. Let me show you.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
So I got to make my pergola go with my man shoes.
That you are loaning to me while we're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's only fair. I share my shoes.
Yeah, they're really outrageous.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love
But
that.
you know, we're in a different era where I can wear this and not be a problem. Where, you know, you and I have both come out of an era where, God forbid, a guy wear that.
Yeah. It's sometimes hard to shake that off.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right.
Yeah. So, Gordon, it has been wonderful to speak with you. You've made me laugh. You've made me think.
Made you cry.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty touching. Well, okay, we got to spank the monkey after we
And
had
then
the
it was done. You're
Yeah,
fine.
you can spank the monkey later.
But that's my favorite doll as a kid was the Curious George. So that really resonated a lot with me, because, you know, the Curious George and the man with the yellow hat. Who was the man anyway? We'll never know. We'll never know.
He had a title, the something conductor, engineer. I don't know. He was something.
More like prison captor, that he had a little monkey.
But yeah, Gordon, I thank you so much for doing this for us, and I do hope that you'll be able to make the trip to Nova Scotia, and that spot is yours, my friend. So
Thank you. I really hope I can. And thank you for this. This is kind of I've been looking forward to this ever since you reached out. Especially this week. It's been a rough week. I really needed it, and it's just so cool to connect with you both. I really do appreciate it. And
if you get here, Daniel collects Japanese maple trees of so many varieties. That's his main collection here.
those are beautiful.
Yeah, because he can actually grow it here. We couldn't grow it at home.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
Well, and I'd offer him some free tree advice if he needs it. Only if he wants it.
if you see him, like, oh my God, look at all the Japanese maples, and it'll light up like a little Christmas.
Oh, really?
I could use some of that help though, because Daniel got me a lot of Japanese maples and whatever, and I don't know how to take care of them.
That's true.
That's very true.
Make sure they're protected from wind. They like to be under other things sometimes. They like to be protected. So that's
Yeah.
good. And make sure you give them fresh water. Don't give them gray water or like
Okay,
that kind of stuff. They don't like it. Anyway, we can talk offline if you have other tree questions. Yeah.
you got it.
So, Gordon, thank you for enriching my life this week.
Likewise.
It's been a pleasure. I do see your name, and you know, when I see your name, oh, Gordon's here. Like, there's just certain people, Michael, MDL. There's so many great names that come up time after time that I'm actually paying attention to, and yet I can never put a name or a face to the name, but I know the name. And then there's other people, I'm like, fuck, she's here.
I'm behaving.
Well, you two
Anyway.
should have some wine and enjoy yourself. And thank you. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much. And that's a wrap, everybody, for tonight. Thank you for joining us for Loose Ends with our Mr. Guest Gordon from California, Karen, my neighbor here from Nova Scotia, and me, Mr. Dress Up. Well, Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And that's it. That's a Canadian joke there, Gordon.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go into the tickle trunk and get something out next week.
Okay. We'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you.